Okay, hello everyone. This week we're going to be looking at some different strategies you can use in your writing, text features that make your language more formal. And we're going to look in particular at four strategies, which are nominalization, parallel structures, um, register or different levels of formality, and the use of adverbs. Okay, let's look at nominalization. Okay, this is where we replace a verb phrase with a noun phrase for the sake of elegance and conciseness. Let's look at an example. The committee decided to open the playground to all children. This was welcomed by the local schools. Now we can change the first part of the sentence, the committee decided to open the playground, into a noun phrase. The committee's decision to open the playground to all children was welcomed by the local schools. Let's look at some more examples. They released the video in 1998. We can change that to the release of the video in 1998, and then we can continue the phrase from there. The law was amended last week becomes the amendment to the law last week, and we continue. The war drained the country's resources. We can change drain into a noun phrase. The war was a drain on the country's resources. When we're using nominalization, adverbs change to adjectives. Here's an example. The girl shouted loudly and attracted the attention she wanted. Loudly is an adverb, but if we nominalize the girl shouted, it becomes the girl's loud shouts attracted the attention she wanted. Loudly is changed to loud. We use nominalization to summarize information. The first sentence here says the rioters threw petrol bombs at the embassy. The situation was getting out of hand. The situation refers to the first sentence, and we don't need to repeat all of that information. Let's look at the second example. The judges have considered at great length the 6 novels on the short list, and we have reached an agreement. Our decision, okay, summarizing all of the information from the first sentence, our decision is unanimous. We use have plus a noun to combine information about an event into one sentence rather than two. Let's look at an example. They raced up the hill. The race was exhausting. They had an exhausting race up the hill. Now let's look at our second feature, parallel structures. In any language, any kind of writing, you don't want to repeat the same words over and over again or the same verbs, but you do want to use similar structures. This gives your writing more cohesion. Let's look at this example. Here's some bad writing. Okay, I can't wait to lie in the sand. Swimming in the sea would be nice too. To sunbathe is something I would love to do as well. If we use parallel structures, we can put everything into something that sounds much more cohesive. I can't wait to be lying on the sand, sunbathing, and swimming in the sea. I'm sure we all feel that way. Here's another example. He is probably going to fail his exam. I suppose he'll blame his teacher. A parallel structure gives us these two sentences. He is probably going to fail his exam, and he is probably going to blame his teacher. Okay, now let's look at different levels of formality. This is register, right? The show starts at 9 o'clock. That's a pretty neutral sentence, but We can change the word show to performance and the word starts to commences and make it a more formal sentence. The performance commences at 9 o'clock. And here is the much less formal version. The show kicks off at 9. Okay, let's look at some different strategies for making your English more formal when you need to. We can use impersonal pronouns, okay? Instead of you, we can use the word one. One might prefer a 4-star hotel instead of you might prefer a four-star hotel. We can use the passive voice to make instructions sound more formal. Non-reflective glass should be worn at all times instead of you should wear non-reflective glass at all times. We use subjunctives with certain verbs. Okay, when we have a verb followed by another verb, okay, certain verbs such as demand is followed by a that clause with the subjunctive. The subjunctive in English is much rarer, much less common than the subjunctive in Spanish, and it's used with certain verbs. And it's formed by just the infinitive form of the verb. So I demand that she apologize in writing rather than she apologizes. Okay. We can use the infinitive clause as the subject of a sentence. Okay, you've probably seen the gerund used as the subject of a sentence, but the infinitive clause is even more formal. To interrupt your elders is very rude. Okay, the gerund form would be interrupting your elders is very rude. Okay, this version is even more formal. And we use non-defining relative clauses in formal English especially. These are clauses that add extra information to a sentence and are set apart by a comma. Okay, the Law Society, to which he had appealed, rejected his argument at once. Okay, that middle part, that non-defining relative clause to which he had appealed, is added in for more information. Okay, let's look at adverbs and especially sentence adverbials. These are adverbs that modify an entire sentence. Economically, the current government has been a resounding success. Okay, in what way have they been a resounding success economically? Apparently, the committee was unable to reach an agreement on the new rules. Apparently modifies the entire sentence. Some adverbs, okay, also modify an adjective or a participle, okay? We have the word successful. Although successful, that's the adjective, although successful economically, the government is starting to lose popularity. And a participle. Financially speaking, few of the tech companies have a good track record. Okay, that's the end of the video. Hope that helps you. Please do the exercises on different ways of using formal English, and I will help you on the chat. Thank you very much.